Well, see, going into this, all I had heard was that it's the female version of Superbad.
Yeah.
And it's not.
It's not.
I guess you could say in its essence, where it's like it's senior year, they want to have one big hurrah, but it's not. It's totally different.
It's them coming to the realization that
they didn't live.
They didn't live, and they didn't have to suffer through high school to get into the school they wanted because all their friends got
all their
classmates.
Yes,
I got into these Ivy League schools,
or
got six-figure jobs,
mid-six-figure jobs
straight out.
That was crazy.
Straight out of high school, after failing the 7th grade. Rule of threes.
But it was
failing the 7th grade twice.
But see, that's obviously when you realize that's the premise, you're like, okay, I'm on board for this. But for me, it was so much more than. I mean, you could argue Superbad may be funnier, especially when you first saw it at the time. But this is, in my opinion, a much better movie.
Yeah, there's probably much more. Even though I've seen when it first came, I've seen it probably once since it first came out, once or twice.
But you saw Superbad 9 times.
At one point, at the apartment I was living in, and it was as soon as it came out on DVD, it was just people came over and everyone was like, "Oh, Superbad was on."
You're like, "Oh yeah, isn't that a coincidence?" It was
it's
on repeat.
It was just on repeat. So I don't know how much of that movie I've seen, but it really was when it came out. It was really
But
funny.
see, this one, I think what you were about to say was how I think in a way it was more realistic. Obviously, there's some outlandish things that happen.
No, this is a much more grounded movie.
Well, it's what I leaned to you was it was a raunchy John Hughes type movie for me. I felt like it really had an idea of what high schoolers today kind of behave like and are like, and what things that they're going through is
it's honest. I mean, it's a generational high school movie.
Yeah, and it should be this is one people should look back and say oh, Booksmart.
In that sense, but to me, in that sense, it is like Superbad because Superbad was like that for every generation has their.
Superbad came out 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. How you feeling?
Rough.
But no, I loved another thing right off the bat. I loved how this movie didn't have any dull spots.
No,
the moment it starts, it just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and then it ends. It has a nice forward momentum to it. They're always on the move. They're always trying to get from one place to another, and then usually the way they get to places is really funny. Yeah. Whether they're in the backseat of their Lyft driver, who's their principal, and they end up watching porn. That whole scene was hilarious. Jason Sudeikis was great, but honestly,
is that Cardi B?
Was that Cardi B? It was great, but that's the movie. What was an hour and 40-something minutes? But it obviously it just flies by, and I'm having a great time the whole time.
Yeah,
and
there definitely are some most there's some cringeworthy moments in this, and there especially the climax, the build up. You keep thinking it never ends up being taking as bad of a turn as you think it's going to take.
But then it does take a turn bad in the sense it's cringeworthy. Mm-hmm. But it's cringeworthy in the sense, the whole time you're like, oh, she's going to try and kiss... Kaitlyn Dever's character, Amy, she is a lesbian.
Yeah.
And she has this crush on a character named Ryan, and Ryan's a woman, and the way she kind of behaves, you can't really tell, but stereotypically, if you had to stereotype someone, you would think, this is a woman that may like other women.
Yeah.
So Amy has this crush on Ryan, and they finally get to the party, and she's gonna make her move, she's gonna do it, and the whole time you're like, oh, she's gonna make her move and realize that she's not a lesbian, and it's gonna be rough, and then it doesn't turn out that way.
No, she doesn't embarrass herself in front of that girl.
No. But what ends up happening.
We don't got to get into it, but
that was oh boy,
but that was a series of unfortunate events, but at least you're
right, it wasn't as
it was not, it wasn't
as cringeworthy.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. because I turned to you, I was like, I don't know which one's worse. It was pretty bad, but first of all, I thought of the two, because Kaitlyn Dever plays Amy, and Beanie Feldstein, who's Jonah Hill's sister, plays Molly, and they both were fantastic.
They're both really good.
I personally thought Kaitlyn Dever was the best. Personally, because I loved how when she's around Molly, she's like really kind of loose. Like it was a pretty realistic portrayal of someone that's kind of introverted.
Yeah.
But when she's out in public, she's very she doesn't stand up for herself. And that's the whole point of the movie.
Well, Molly's character's not introverted.
No, she's very extroverted to the point where most people don't like her. Yeah. But that's also what I loved about this movie, was that when she did go to a party and let her hair down.
There you go.
They were like, you're finally doing it.
I will say, that is what I liked about this movie the most, and I said it last night, is that none of the kids were bad kids.
No.
There wasn't a bully, so to speak. There wasn't.
You could argue that one girl was a bully, but then no.
No, but she was pushed to be that way.
Yeah.
I mean, and, she was attacked first, essentially.
No, I'm talking about the one Kaitlyn Dever hooks up with. Remember, she was kind of mean, kind of jaded.
Yeah, but she hadn't come out yet either.
That's true.
She was having to live with it, and she was, in a sense, a little jealous. The way
Diana Silvers. By the way, apparently she's in Maw, which we haven't seen. The moment she was on screen, we're like, we know her from somewhere. We could not figure it out.
It's got to be a commercial. We didn't go through commercials, but it has to be.
It has to be, because the whole time we were like, we know this girl. I don't know who, I'm almost convinced, did we work with her at some point? Did I work with her? I don't know. But, that was the only person I would say you could argue was...
And again, she
me,
was...
But I think you make a very good point, and that's what I was trying to get to, was that she was probably had conflicting feelings about herself and didn't feel comfortable kind of in her own skin. The person you were talking about was AAA, who I thought was great, and I love that was a callback too.
Yeah.
This movie is filled with things that are called back, and which honestly makes for a great screenplay.
Yeah. Well, that's my point. Is even people you think you don't like, or people you think are kind of jerks, it's like everybody has a reason for being who they are.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes you an individual.
Well, and that's
this movie does a good job, especially going to parties, because that's I remember going to parties in high school, and it was once you were at the party, you're cool.
If you were at the party and you weren't causing a problem, you weren't actively trying to cause a problem.
I just remember everybody treating each other that way. It was like, have a beer.
Yeah, what's up, man? No, and I agree, because the whole time they're trying to find this party and no one's answering their texts back, because they're trying to get to Nick's party,
and they think of themselves as less than they're actually thought of.
Yeah. They're what it boils down to is that these kids are at a party, they're just not thinking about these two people.
No, I just mean, to start off, Kaitlyn Dever and Amy Molly, they almost think less of themselves in terms of, they look at themselves as outsiders compared to the rest of the school.
They do, but Molly doesn't care.
Yeah.
Amy, I think, she's just, her self-esteem's kind of, that's what I talked about. So the whole theme is that she's kind of cowardly. Mm-hmm. She doesn't...
Anyway, but the tone of the movie, the way it's shot, the way it's made, makes you feel like you're an outsider, and they're trying to fit in. They're trying to be one with the group. When in actuality, they get there, and it was like, you're part of the group the whole time.
Yeah, it's you just... And that was the whole... That's what I... Honestly, even though the graduation speech, it's obviously, it's Hollywood-esque. That would never happen. But I did love that. The whole... That was... They sum up the movie in general, which was they were so focused on they were so focused on looking at what everybody wasn't, and not focusing on who they were in general. And that overall people, and that was what you leaned to me. You were like, I
have one complaint,
but you were talking about how you loved that. You were like, at the end of the day, most people are awesome.
Yeah,
people are cool.
I mean, you have your outliers, and I feel like that's one of my issues with society today, is the people that are strange or very, I don't want to say strange, but a lot of these people that have very strong opinions are actually about certain things, like that are kind of out there. A lot of times, not a lot of times, but you're in the minority.
Mm-hmm.
Like most people just want everybody to get along.
Yeah.
Like, stop. Like, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we're not going to delve down that rabbit hole on either side.
What was your one complaint?
What did she do to go to not just get arrested, but like she was in jail?
Well, see that.
I mean, even resisting.
For me,
I didn't in as much trouble.
I didn't have a problem with her getting arrested. Because that's something.
No.
Like,
I'm not talking about getting
minor
arrested.
under the influence, something.
But
usually
she didn't just spend the night.
But she was like, I can't go to graduation. I'm in jail. It's like they would you would get bailed out really easily for something like that.
Yeah, at the very minimum, like in terms of what you see take place as she's running, she might have resisted. In terms of the fact she might have ran,
and that's probably what happened. Because she was like, I'm going to cause a distraction.
Yes, but you don't go to jail for like.
More than a day.
Yeah.
Even though, God, think about it.
It was the night before.
Like, probably early morning.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, she was probably in jail for 5 hours. 5-6 hours.
Yeah, but, like, she wasn't just in, like, the drunk tank. Like,
she did have prison clothes on.
Yes.
she had been processed.
Yes.
I know, and don't get me wrong.
Her parents were, like, they were good Christian people.
First of all, Will Forte and Lisa Kudrow are national treasures, and they were great as Kaitlyn Dever's parents.
But they would have bailed her out like that.
But it doesn't matter. It played even better that they used the information that pizza driver, which
helped them out, by the way.
Well, no, we helped them out talking about, like, what you're doing is not safe. Like, he basically was like, I know, I strangled people. His line... it probably was the line that made me laugh. It was just the most random line. He's a pizza delivery driver. He's coming out of his store and he goes, 1 half sausage and 1 half cheese pizza, and another half sausage and half cheese pizza. Just get 1 cheese pizza and 1 sausage pizza, you fucking idiots.
But it's so true.
It's true because people do shit like that. That was great. That was a line that whoever wrote that was a personal.
That was like, somebody who had delivered pizzas or made pizzas.
Or had just come from a party where they're like, I want half cheese and half sausage. It's like, well, she does too. Let's just get 1 cheese and 1 sausage. But I want half cheese and half. It's like, fuck, I'm writing this in my movie. I got to put it in my movie. No, but speaking of the scene where Kaitlyn Dever is getting arrested, I thought that was hilarious. Where she was like. Because she's like, okay, I can't be cowardly, and I loved her change in body language. She was like, all right, guys, listen up. Like she was like, almost like everyone take a knee.
Yeah.
But and then when it shows her getting arrested, she's like, shotgun. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have one. Like the whole movie for me was filled with lines like that.
Okay, let's talk about the people that steal the show in this movie.
Well, I thought Gigi.
Well, no, they both together.
See, you felt more.
No.
No,
to me it's equal. She was great.
Well, see, you know what was strange? Not strange. It was Jared and Gigi, and Gigi is Billy Lord, who is Carrie Fisher's daughter.
Yeah,
they are both great, but Billy, like, when they both started out, you're like, oh, these are going to be annoying people.
No,
and I loved it. Yeah, how they sum up how like she's crazy, like she's way out there. But she is loyal as hell.
Yeah. And well, like, she epitomizes, like, she just wants everybody to get along. But if, like, you got a problem with her.
He has a line, she was like, she shanked someone.
She pops out of, like,
she shanked someone for laughing at me. He wasn't even laughing at me. He was looking at a meme on his phone. That was great.
And then, but I like the fact that he was essentially playing John Ralphio at times.
It was. You made a very astute observation, which was, and I was thinking the same thing, where he goes on the boat and there's no one there, and it's this crazy party with super rich, like, they had everything. They had gift bags with iPads and stuff, and it was like, yes, I was like, that's John Ralphio. And I do, obviously, and that's what this movie boils down to, is that, like, everyone almost kind of has this, like, persona that they've embodied, but it's like sometimes that's not really them.
Mm-hmm.
And in particular, Jared, because he opened up, he was like, I just want to build airplanes and write musicals.
Yeah.
And he puts on that persona that he has because he wants everyone to get along with him, but he's trying so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And but Gigi is just doing her own thing.
Yeah.
And that was a running gag I loved, was that because they keep going to parties and it's the wrong party, but Gigi's always at the party. They're like, holy fuck! They always are scared by her, and then they're like, how did you get here so fast? She's like, doesn't matter. She's just like a wild card. She's great. She's great.
And that's funny too. When they go to the murder mystery party,
when it opened up, I was like, oh, I'm kind of. And I love Kaitlyn Dever was on board for it too, because she was like, this seems like it could be fun.
Yeah.
And I turned to you, I was like, this could be. I want to go to a party like this where it's a murder mystery. That'd be awesome.
And they were funny. It was
Alan. I want to say Greg and Alan. It was George, maybe George and Alan. They were the two drama students. They were both obviously homosexual. I mean, they were very flamboyant, but they were really funny. They were really. I love
the fact they were in the one kid's house.
Yes, and then he was like, "Mom, I have this house, the side of the house until midnight," and then the little girl is like, "Oh man." But honestly, enough of that. I will say, on a more serious note, one of the best scene in the movie for me was when Amy and Molly do get in the argument at Nick's party.
That's one of the
better scenes this year, in my opinion.
Because it starts outside.
It's a one long take, and then
at least it comes off as one long take. There's
potentially some tricks involved, but when they start having a conversation, and then
the sound, it sounds like they're walking to a party, and then the sound slowly starts to go out.
It's just a really well-made scene.
And the camera's turning the whole time?
Not the whole time. It's only until... It's not turning. It just keeps going like slowly back and forth.
But at one point, you can see people start to pay attention in the background, and they're filming in the background.
And I felt the argument was really realistic in the sense that it wasn't like Amy just exploded on Molly.
Yeah.
It slowly evolved into a big argument, and it was like, that's how big arguments happen. Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh, let's just explode each other. It's like usually something's boiling between two people, and then they explode. And I thought that was just such a well-made scene. It was really impactful, and then it obviously led to Kaitlyn Dever going to the bathroom with Diana Silver. And then Molly figuring out why Amy was upset because Nick, who Molly wanted to try and hook up with,
had a crush on,
was actually hooking up with Ryan, who Kaitlyn Dever had a crush on.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh. And that's why for the rest of the party she was like, have you seen Amy? Like she realized like, oh, that's why she wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And then, but I thought that was an excellent scene. It goes back to it's a raunchy John Hughes film for me. Mm-hmm. Like there are elements that are super funny, but they really nail a realistic portrayal of high school or of contemporary high school.
Yeah.
And
what do you give this movie?
For what overall,
and is it the best comedy that we've seen so far this year?
This year, do you count Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as a comedy? No? Okay. Well, then this very well...
Tarantino movies are just Tarantino movies.
Okay.
It's going to be up there with the Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron movie. In terms of best comedies we've seen.
Man, they were both really good.
This is a much better movie, in my opinion, than Long Shot was.
Yes. But
Long Shot's a really good comedy.
I might argue Long Shot's funnier.
Yeah.
But I do like Booksmart better. Booksmart is a better film.
Yes. It ranks up as it's going to be
this generation's defining teenage comedy.
Yeah.
I truly believe that. It was excellent. And Olivia Wilde did a great job. That's what we didn't mention. She directed. It was her first movie directing, and she did a fantastic job.
Really good.
Yeah. What about you? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'd say A- for me too.
A-?
Yeah. Like, I think when we start thinking about even our, like, top 10 movies of the year, this will be a fringe movie to put in there.
It's, you know what it also is? It's a very easily watchable movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie, like, we missed it in theaters, but we rented it.
I mean, this is one of my favorite movies that I've seen this year for sure. It'll probably be in that list, but in terms of, like, best movies.
No, I don't think it's in the best movies, but it's awesome.
I don't know, it might be for me, but we'll see.
We'll definitely see, so. But yeah, it was.
And we are a little late reviewing this, but
it's fine. We need to have seen it so we can do our top 10s.
Yeah.
One last note. I thought the music was great.
The contemporary music was
it was very fitting for the type of music people listen to today. And anytime I hear "Run the Jewels,"
Run the Jewels came on at the end, and you were like, yes.
Well, it's because because that was when they're like, we gotta get to graduation, and they're taking that car. They're like, it's Way says we can get there in 13. I'll get there in 5. And they're like, and Don't Speak comes on. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. But yeah, that's all I'll say about Booksmart. It's an excellent movie. If you haven't seen it, obviously see it. But that was our take on Booksmart, and we'll catch you next time with our take.